welcome to should we call it a show? All right. So, welcome to this dialogue. I would not say podcast because we're just having conversations, right, Richard?
Yeah, I just recorded conversations.
Yeah, yeah. So we're just having conversations. And funny story is we've actually planned this for more than a year. And the reason why I say that we've planned this for more than a year, or we've actually planned to do something like this for more than a year, is because the subscription of the software that we're using to record, I just got a message from them that we need to renew it by March 25 this month. So meaning we got into the subscription March 25th, 2023. And here we are. This is going to be our first video that we're going to publish, and that's going to make the internet, or we're going to put it on YouTube. Yeah. Anyways, so we've planned this for such a long time, and here we are. We're going to be talking about interesting tech conversations. We're going to be examining what's happening out there. We're going to take a look at the news. You're going to get our opinions. And the reason why you're going to get our opinions, I'll get to that shortly. I'll tell you why you should look forward to our opinions. Yeah. So because when people have said it that when both of us actually have conversations about tech, they love to hear us talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Share a few stuff, Richard, about our
Oh
tech
well,
conversations.
most of the time when we have tech conversations, they are kind of lengthy, and we're like, wow, we should actually have record this. There are a lot of people that could actually benefit from this, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, that's something that actually kind of bettered out this stuff that we are starting out today.
Yeah.
Finally, right? And yeah,
Finally.
a lot of people get to listen to our conversation and they're like, oh wow, like this is
Wow.
insightful. I never
You
knew
guys
this
know so
before.
much.
Oh,
You guys know so much.
exactly. So now we are deciding to share to the wider community. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, amazing, amazing. So yeah, people look forward to us talking about tech, and we're bringing it live to you. We're going to be talking about a few topics, and the good thing about it is that we're trying to make this as conversational and educational as much as possible, so that you're not just going to watch this like you're just watching any regular conversation or podcast. You're going to learn a lot from here, and you're going to be inspired. So this is definitely something you should look forward to. We're going to try our best to keep to an upload schedule. This is our first recording, so we can't give out like an upload schedule just yet. But we're going to try our best to stick to an upload schedule so that you know that every week during the weekend you look forward to conversations with Blessing and Richard, and we're going to inspire you. We're going to share a lot of things with you, and it's going to be a contract between us and you. So sign that contract by subscribing to the channel. Anyways, so let's get into it. Uh
Yeah.
this today we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that has happened in tech. And the first
Mm-hmm.
one is the Elon Musk suing OpenAI Sam Altman. Richard, I know you've read the 45 page or 46 page lawsuit document, which some people are calling trash online. And there's an
Mm-hmm.
article on The Verge that I'm also going to share shortly. I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see it. They were disappointed at the way Elon Musk framed the case. So, Richard, you've read the 46-page lawsuits. I haven't rather, and I'll be honest. So, from your point of view, what do you think about the lawsuits? Do you think it's old water? Do you think Elon Musk is going to get Sam Altman to change the structure of the company?
Oh, okay. Well, it's very, very, very interesting to be honest. It's like one of the hottest topic in tech right now, and everybody are giving their opinion. So I'll just put this out there. We are not lawyers, right? So we are just sharing our own tech opinion on this. Not like,
Yeah.
oh, we are lawyers and like we are just saying, oh, this is what will happen. But I think
Mhm.
the lawsuit is actually very interesting to be honest. If you look at it, like now you are seeing a lot of connection between so many things. How OpenAI came to be in general, how Sam Altman approached Elon Musk, how they wrote an open letter to the US government talking about AI, how initially Elon Musk wanted to buy DeepMind, right? Before
Wow.
Google acquired DeepMind. So
Yeah.
like there are a lot of stuff in the lawsuit. And interestingly, you could actually kind of deduce why maybe just speculation, right? Reading through the entire 46 page of the lawsuit, you could somehow kind of deduce why Sam Altman was sacked and why he was reinstated. Though
Oh,
it's not confirmed, but like just trying to piece up so many things together, like you could start to like say, okay, I think the picture is getting clear here. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, there are a lot of things like I think it's very, very interesting. But as to
Yeah,
say maybe it's a bad case, legal case or not, I don't think I'm in the right position to say that because I'm not a lawyer, right? Or we
yeah,
are not a lawyer, right? So,
yeah.
but it's just like some of the things inside the lawsuit that
Mm-hmm.
sounds very, very interesting. And like, oh, okay, this is it. Interesting.
Hmm.
Like, and that's basically what we are going to be talking about for the majority of the time. Yeah.
Okay, all right, amazing. Yeah, I was actually going to share the article that I was reading about it this morning
Mm-hmm.
before we jumped on the call. So, and this was put together by The Verge, right? So they said Elon Musk legal case against OpenAI is hilariously bad.
The choice
So
of word is interesting.
yeah, very, very interesting. And trust them to actually really analyze it and give us their own expertise. But a couple of things I wanted to bring out, and being that you've read the lawsuit, I want you to also
Mm-hmm.
speak to it, right? So if you take a look at let's just take a look at it. You see, sadly, Musk. Okay, so they said if you start from here,
Mm-hmm.
Musk sued OpenAI today. That was probably yesterday or
Yeah.
whenever it is you're watching this video. So it was Elon Musk sued Sam on March 1st, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and he fundamentally accuses OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman of pretending to run a non-profit designed to benefit humanity while actually running a regular old tech company. So that is to say, Sam Altman is actually making profits, which okay, is
Exactly.
not a bad thing, but that goes against the purpose of in which the intention in which the company was created for. So
Mm-hmm.
someone with some intellectual honesty and a competent lawyer should run at that sometime, right? So
Yeah.
sadly, Musk is not that person, and his lawyers have figured out that letting the world's richest man rack up billable hours filing nonsensical lawsuits is more lucrative than fitting the fact to law or whatever it is regular lawyers do. So what the Verge is saying is that because, and we'll get to it shortly, from
Mm-hmm.
everything you've read, that I've read rather, Richard, what do you think?
I think it's interesting to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think the media is trying to paint Elon Musk like yeah as a bad person, right?
Okay.
Which I don't think it is because when you guys came together, according to the lawsuit, you
Mm-hmm.
guys came together so that you could actually be able, like, you guys were able to build like an open source artificial intelligence system that
Okay.
everybody can use, like that it will be open source, non-profit, right? That was the initial idea. And the main aim of this, according to the lawsuit, was okay to prevent monopoly of say Google running the monopoly on AI technology, right? Because as at that time, Google has built sophisticated system like AlphaGo, and DeepMinds are building like interesting stuff, right? And also Google then also wanted to buy DeepMind, right? So it's just to stop that kind of monopoly and like, okay, let's bring another player up in this game. Let's start building like open source artificial intelligence research companies so that people can actually like we can actually share our knowledge with people. There will not be any monopoly and stuff like that. That was the cause Elon Musk actually like subscribed to. That was the vision like he subscribed to. And I think it was Sam Altman that reached out and I was like, oh yes, this is like actually great, blah 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 and stuff like that. And they kind of partnered. I say, okay, yeah, I think let us come together and let us start this research company.
Lasting.
Elon Musk used most of his influence to actually recruit a lot of high ranking researchers, right, in the AI space to like work in the company and just to like open source this knowledge that they've researched and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. All what you've said makes sense. But I'll go back to the article and I'll show you something they pointed out. They said
Okay.
everything that you mentioned, fine, great. right? But they pointed out here that let's just take a very first course of action of the lawsuit. For example, it is a claim for breach of contract. A very, very simple claim that almost a first year law student can evaluate. Because step one is asking if there is a contract. Let's hold this, let's keep this, just hold it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
Okay.
step two is figuring out what the contract says. To have a valid contract, you need an offer, acceptance, and an exchange of value. You remember when we did engineering
Yeah.
law, we all know this,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
what
Yes.
lawyers are trained to call consideration, blah blah blah. It goes on, and if you go down below this article, you see that they actually mentioned somewhere that anyway, my guess is that the case will continue to be a gold mine for law students around the country because it's almost a certainty that OpenAI's response will be another one law exam favorite, a motion for dismiss for failure to state a claim. So I think what this article is saying is that there's actually no contract, right? A breach. So, and I think we can find it here that the breach of contract claims to goes on reference an email from Sam Altman to Elon Musk, which says technology OpenAI develops will be used for good of the world, to which Musk reply, agree on all. So there's actually no agreement.
Well.
Maybe it's true that OpenAI's Byzantine's corporate culture, like they've got a lot of complex structure of corporate, right? Their company
Yes.
might
Yes.
involves non-profits owing for make turning that into a profit, but you cannot sue them over that because there's no contract.
Okay, so this is where this is like one interesting part that I read in the article, right? In the lawsuit rather. So it says like there is like when Sam Altman wanted to become like a profit company, like wanted OpenAI to become a profit company, he reached out to Elon Musk, right? And Elon Musk said he has no interest in like OpenAI being for profit, right? So now they kind of created like a for profit arm in OpenAI, but there is still like the no profit arm. Do you understand? Right. So even after that, Elon Musk still donated like around 3.8 billion million dollars to the no profit arm, so that at least you'll still continue to open source whatever technology they have. And now in September 2020, in September 22, 2020, OpenAI announced its license with announced its agreement with Microsoft, right? And the interesting thing is, I'll read from from the lawsuit here. It says on September 22, 2020, OpenAI announced that it exclusively licensed certain of its pre-AGI technology to Microsoft. Emphasis on pre-AGI technology, right? Consistent with the founding agreement. OpenAI website says OpenAI website states that AGI, which it describes as a highly autonomous system that outperforms humans at most economically viable work. That is what OpenAI described AGI as. Is excluded from IP licenses and other commercial terms with Microsoft. So Microsoft entered an agreement with OpenAI pre-AGI stuff, right? And now what Elon Musk is claiming now is that GPT-4 is, according to their own definition, is already AGI. In the sense that
Got you.
I'll read their definition again. It says
Do,
a highly autonomous system that outperforms humans at most economically viable work. And which is somewhat true because GPT-4 now outperforms human on most economically viable work. Like, for example,
yeah,
say
yeah,
customer
yeah,
service,
yeah. Got you. Yeah,
yeah, stuff like that, right?
yeah.
So now I think that's like the crux of what Elon Musk is suing OpenAI for. I don't think Elon Musk is in it for the money, but I just think he
Mhm.
wants them to open source that particular technology. That
Okay.
is what I think he's in for.
Okay.
And sorry, let me just add one more point to this. Why I
Yeah.
think this is very interesting. In that says, however, OpenAI's board determines when we've attained AGI,
Yeah.
which is very interesting.
Yeah. So what you're saying now is that there is a lot of nuances that
Ex-
are
exactly.
that is actually really, really connected to who called the shots on when we've achieved AGI. Is it the public?
Exactly.
Is it the OpenAI board or the
Exactly.
investors? That part we don't know yet, and there's a lot all that there's a lot that's going to come up to limelight, and as the matter begins to roll, everything will
Mm-hmm.
become very, very clear to us. So we're going to leave this, and we're going to now, because I've heard that OpenAI has partnered with another company called Figure. And that's what I want you to
Exactly.
talk about. That's what I want us to also talk about, because it's very
Mm-hmm.
interesting how OpenAI is now using their influence. Do you understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying? In the AI space to sort of now, of course, we've heard of Sora that broke the news when they got released. You can see that
Yeah.
OpenAI is now diversifying into a lot of areas. And this acquisition of, oh, sorry, I said partnership rather, with Figure is into the robotics humanoids area.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I want you, what do you think about the number one, the partnership? Like you said, is that going to lead us to more economical, viable automation that AI would do? Because when you think about it, humanoids plus what we already have can pretty much carry out effectively maybe like 30% of the task or automate routine task. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
I'm quoting this from the World Economic Forum report, that report
Mm-hmm.
that recently got launched about AI replacing jobs, right? Do
Yeah.
you see this as a step for that? Do you see this partnership kind of disrupting or taking us closer to AGI? Or do you just see OpenAI just investing into the future, and they still want to maintain the influence or the play in this area?
I think generally at this point, I think OpenAI wants to be like the AI giant. In fact, I think it's like the AI giant at this point in time. If you're not lying to ourselves, right? Because they have one of the models that supersedes any model. And I think just to go back a little bit to the previous conversation we're having, it says also in the lawsuit, and that I think that was put in the lawsuit by Elon Musk. It says OpenAI is working on another new model called Q Star,
Yeah.
which is like, according to the lawsuit, it says is way powerful than GPT-4.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, right? So we are seeing all these things come to play, and now we are looking at some of the strategic moves that OpenAI is actually making at this point in time. Also, one could argue, right, that maybe Elon Musk want this stuff to be open source so that he could probably use it in some of his businesses too as well. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, right?
Yeah,
We don't know. We
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, we don't
But
know. I
right,
actually saw a
right.
meme on Twitter that spoke to that matter, but when I saw it, I just laughed. I forgot to save it, and I've wished I had saved it. We would have made reference to it during this episode. But I want us to see what OpenAI is doing with this investment, right?
Yeah.
So the partnership, actually, let's go through the terms of
Mm-hmm.
partnership. So it says that Figure, an AI robotics company developing general purpose humanoid robot, today announced that it has raised, bro,
It's
bro,
crazy.
bro, $675 million in Series B funding. See the
Wow.
valuation. With
2.6
investment
billion.
from Microsoft, OpenAI Startup Fund,
Exactly,
Nvidia,
right? Exactly.
bro,
Exactly.
then Jeff
Jeff
Bezos,
Bezos. Yeah.
then the other investment firms. So the investment will accelerate Figure timeline of humanoid commercial deployment. And do you know, I'm also going to talk about something about Figure that most people don't actually really understand, and it's not there in the limelight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will explain in a short while. So if you continue reading further, it says Figure will leverage Microsoft Azure for AI infrastructure, training, and storage. So they
Mm-hmm.
said we're excited to collaborate with Figure and work towards accelerating AI breakthroughs. Through our work together, Figure will access Microsoft AI infrastructure and services to support deployment of humanoid robots to assist people in real-world applications.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? That it's taking
Exactly.
us a step closer into
Exactly.
using AI, humanoid robots, to
Mm-hmm.
automate a lot of tasks. Forget the way it's been worded right here. Do you understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Saying
Yeah.
humanoid robot, I know it to assist. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it
Mm-hmm.
will also change the way we work. I don't want to use the
Yeah.
word replace because I
Yeah.
feel like that word is very loose, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do
Yeah.
you think?
So interestingly, now let's take it back a little bit, right?
Yeah,
If you look at what they are doing here,
yeah,
integrating like probably open AI's technology into like an humanoid robot, right?
yeah,
GPT-4 on its own, you could probably say maybe it's not AGI, right? You could argue
yeah,
probably it's not AGI on its own,
yeah,
but
yeah.
combining it with so many other things,
That
right?
we don't know yet.
That we
That we
don't
don't
know
know
yet.
yet.
Exactly. And because there are other frameworks out there that people are using now to build agents, autonomous
Yes, agent.
agents.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you could like works I could see space where jobs like virtual assistant, their roles have
Mhm.
been taken off totally,
Very,
right?
very, 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 very
Because
much so.
it's
Yeah.
something it's something that you can build an autonomous agent and we just automatically replace that entire job called virtual assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And those are some of the simple you could build agents that could reduce like your entire customer support need. Interestingly, Klarna this week announced that
I was going to
they
get to that. I was going
that
to
is
get to
very
that.
interesting that they
Yeah.
are going to gain profit like about over $40 million.
Forty
And
million
it's
dollars. And the most interesting part is that they automated 700 employees worth of work.
exactly
700.
that's
That
crazy.
and
That's crazy.
the crazy part also is that the intelligence or kind of like the productivity or the result of the task is at par with human level reasoning or
Exactly,
human levels
exactly,
effort.
exactly. Now, even now switch it back to what Elon Musk is claiming. Now, you don't actually think that Elon Musk is crazy now,
So,
right?
what you're saying, so essentially what you're saying is we have some people on this side trying to push the AI innovation faster than it should go. And we have some people on this side saying that, guys, slow
Well,
down, slow
maybe
down.
not
Is that what you're
slow down,
saying?
right? Maybe not slow down in itself.
Or,
Like
or let's do it right. Is that what you're
something
saying?
like that, something like that. Let's do it right. Let's open source this. And I think the fastest way to move AI forward, I think, would be in open source because
Okay, so
there
what
are a
you're
lot
saying,
of
so what essentially what you're saying now is that we have some people on this side trying to build a closed model, and we
yeah,
have
a
some people on this side
monopoly.
saying, share it with everybody, let us innovate on top of this.
Yeah, right. So basically, a monopoly. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
look at it. Let's look at an example, right, of
Mm.
why I said open source is probably the way to go, right?
Yeah,
Say for example, we look at alpaca models,
yeah.
right? When alpaca model was released, it was trained in under 3 hours
Do you get?
with just $500, right?
Yes, yeah.
Just look at how crazy, and it was almost on par with I think GPT 3.5,
2.5.
right?
It was on par with
And
3.5.
it's interesting how that model, how like the Stanford student approached doing something like that. Imagine if GPT-4 is open sourced. Look at the kind of things that we would have done, like the technology under the hood, like is open source. People would have come up with crazy ideas. Google Gemini announced that, oh yes, they've achieved a 1 million token limit, context token limit, and in few days later, right, an open source model said I was able, like they essentially expanded Llama 2 to also
Yeah.
take in 1 million context token context,
Yeah, yeah.
right,
Context
and
window.
a context window, right, and that
Yeah,
was just using something called ring attention.
yeah.
And it's interesting. So, like, if imagine now if you open source this knowledge, I think we are going to go faster. And that's what has happened in the computer science space all over. Like few years back, we are building on other people's knowledge, right?
Mm.
Gradually building on other people's knowledge. Even what is happening in the LLM space today is because of one single paper. Attention is all you
So
need,
that was all you need.
right?
Attention is all you need. So essentially, what
So
you're saying now is that, and this is how we're going to round up this section of interesting
I
conversation.
think I need to add one more thing before you
Oh,
round up.
okay,
Maybe
no,
just
add
like
it. Add
maybe
it.
just like a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah,
But now look at the partnership between OpenAI and
yeah,
Flow, right?
yeah, yeah,
Imagine the technology is open sourced. You know,
yeah,
Tesla runs a robotic company as well,
yeah.
right? So imagine what Elon Musk too could do with that kind of technology in his own robotics.
Mm,
right?
mm.
So like do with that information what you want.
Okay, essentially. So what you are saying now is that we need to foster innovation in a way that it lets us stand on top of shoulders of the giant, kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
which makes
yeah,
sense. I
yeah.
I agree. Thumbs up. So interestingly, right, the one that I mentioned about going to round up this section, but we can't round this section until we talk about this special news, because you said on this side we have people that are kind of doing closed source. We have on this side people that are fostering for open source. We have some
Exactly.
people in the middle who are for closed source and they are for open source, and
They
that's
are
the
neither cold
Microsoft.
or hot.
Yes, and that's the next thing we're going to talk about, which is the so can we give you a name? Say closed open source, slash open source, and that's the
Yeah.
next one we're going to talk about, which is the Microsoft partnership with Mistral. Microsoft has wait, hold on. Micro Microsoft is everywhere. Microsoft is working with OpenAI to work with Figure, and now
Hmm.
Microsoft is working with Mistral AI, right? So, what do you think about that partnership before I share kind of like the article we with everyone?
So first off, I think I need to give the hats off to Satya Nadella, right?
Yeah,
Because how Microsoft came now to kind of be like the AI, some sort of like the AI giant among the is he Fang, is Fang now? Is Microsoft even part of the Fang? Right? So
yeah. No, no, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not part of the Fang,
Microsoft
right?
is not part of Fang. Yeah,
Exactly. Right. So how it became like someone like leading some sort of like the companies, top big tech company now leading innovation in AI is something that should be studied, to be honest. Because
yeah.
initially when you talk about AI, you always see Google in the forefront. They are
Mm-hmm.
released with AlphaGo, their chess
Mm-hmm.
engines, all those
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff that they do with DeepMind, Google
Mm-hmm.
Brain, and stuff, all those kind of things, right? They were like leading the charge. But now it looks like as if Microsoft just breezed past them. And
Mm,
this is due to strategic partnerships. The
mm,
partnership they had with OpenAI. And
mm,
now, interestingly, no one saw this coming, right? The partnership with Mistral. Like,
mm,
seriously? Like,
mm,
why? And
mm.
it's interesting now that even like Mistral just released a new model called Mistral Large,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is almost on par with GPT-4.
Mm,
Now, with this partnership, initially, once Mistral has released their models, we can access it through various platforms like Hugging Face, download the models. Guys are going to play with the models, fine tune it, even better than the stuff. But interestingly, we've not seen that from Mistral, right?
mm.
We've not seen the open source, like the released model, the open source version of Mistral that people can run locally or people can run on their system if they have like tons of GPU to play around with that, right? We've not seen that yet. And I'm speculating, is it probably because of this partnership with
So
Microsoft, right?
let me hold on. Let me share my screen, right? So that we look at the article. So one thing I want you to also notice here is that Mistral is valued at $2.1 billion. How much is
Mm-hmm.
Figure valued?
I think, yeah, 2.6.
Can you see how like the AI boom is driving companies to insane valuation,
And it
right?
is just a 10-month-old AI company.
10 months old. Do you understand? Do you get? Do you get my points now? And now you can kind of see that Microsoft saying the deal we see Mistral open and commercial language models available on Microsoft Azure platform. What do you think Microsoft is aiming Microsoft Azure to become?
Like the AI platform, basically.
Do you understand what I'm saying? The
Like the
AI
AI
what? The AI
platform.
platform.
Because
You get?
you can't see now, like this is very good
So
deal for
yeah,
Microsoft. Why?
so
Because uh,
Microsoft Azure AI platform. Yes, go ahead.
so I said this is a very good deal for Microsoft because number one, it's crushing Google in
Mm-hmm.
terms of like the cloud solution space. Now,
Mm.
for AI stuff, it's then going to crush AWS, right? For
Yeah.
in the AI space also, like any if you want to run probably any AI solution, like you first, oh, I could use Azure. It hosts
Mm-hmm.
Mistral Large. and all those kind of stuff. Interestingly, I have access to Mistral API, but if
Yeah.
I'm going to use Mistral Large, I'm just limited to 2 requests per second, which is
Mm,
crazy. You can't
mm,
scale with that. But now look at what it's doing. It's now telling you, okay, maybe if you want more number of requests per second, maybe you can actually port to Microsoft Azure, right?
mm,
I just
mm.
use like the Azure API. And now if
Yeah.
you're in Azure API, maybe I can use maybe Postgres. Maybe I can use some stuff within. Like it's. Do you understand like the
Yeah,
effect now
I,
that
I,
it
I totally
causes,
understand you.
right?
Mm.
So if you want to use something like Mistral, because Mistral is very cheap, Mistral Large
Yeah,
is
yeah.
very cheap and is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So now look at that kind of thing compared to OpenAI. OpenAI GPT-4 is expensive, but Mistral is cheap. So you can now say, okay, yeah, direct a lot of like. Let me just use Mistral Large, use Azure, Microsoft Azure AI, and stuff
Mm.
like that. From there, you use maybe let me use their Postgres, let me use this, let me use that. Maybe just let me. I just want to keep all my billings within a particular stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they are gunning for. Now, with this move, I think it's a it's a power move. Now they can become number one in cloud solutions, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
everybody's
Definitely.
building on AI at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's
So
building on AI at this point in time.
that's where I want you to get to. And we're going to stop talking about AI because there's this there are like two topics I want us to talk about before we end it.
Just one thing, I think
Yeah.
another thing is the EU, because Mistral is a French company, the
Yeah.
EU are investigating this partnership with Microsoft. Because
Oh, you
why?
mean the European Union?
Yes, they are investigating this partnership with Microsoft.
Yeah, they don't want so
They
now
don't
you're
want a
saying now.
monopoly
So you're
with some
saying
sort.
kind of what they did with Adobe and Figma's acquisition. Yeah, they're doing
Exactly.
it, which leads
Exactly.
me to talk about this interesting news from Figma,
Yeah.
right? Most people don't know about this, or like it just happened, but most people are not talking about it. And I'll share my
Mm-hmm.
screen now so that you see it. Thank you for bringing up the EU or the European Union investigation into the partnership with Microsoft and Mistra. So
Mistral.
now Dynabot is joining Figma. We know that
Interesting.
Figma was acquired by Adobe, but the deal didn't sail through because of regulations, right? But you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
see Figma doing their own thing right here. They acquired Dynabot. And for everybody out there that doesn't know what Dynabot does, Dynabot is kind of like let's actually look at their so Dynabot is a no code website, or like no code web application that helps you build web apps in 60 seconds. So you can turn spreadsheet database and APIs into web apps with an AI supercharged low code. And this is it. It looks beautiful. So if you want data table, if you want text input, whatever, if you want API connection, you can do that even if you don't know how to write code with
Mm-hmm.
Dynabot. Now it's been acquired by Figma, right?
This is
Let me go
very
back.
interesting.
Let me go back to share my screen. So now it's been acquired by Figma. And if you take a look at the news, they mentioned that as we integrate into Figma, we'll be phasing out Dynabot services on April 2030,
Wow.
2024. We've paused new
Wow.
registrations and billing, and I actually tried to sign up before our call this morning. I couldn't. Our current customers will be notified via email and with more information and best steps for transitioning their applications and tools. What I'm guessing is that all these things will now be inside Figma. And once you're design everything, once you're done with that, you can sort of port to the Dynabot version in Figma to build the application, giving
That's
Figma
wild.
giving giving Figma kind of like the full spectrum development autonomy, or like full spectrum development
Pipeline.
ability. Yeah, because now Framer is winning the heart of a lot of designers, right? And Framer is, for everybody that doesn't know Framer, let me share what Framer is. So Framer, and I'm going to share that real soon. 1 second. So Framer is kind of like, I'm getting to it. 1 second.
So yeah, while you are checking that out, it's
Yeah.
interesting because now what Figma is doing here is they are spreading their tent, right?
Yes. Yes.
You can come to my platform to design your stuff, but it doesn't have to end there.
You
Now
understand?
you
It
can take
doesn't
a
have to
step
end there.
further. We can give
Yeah.
you superpowers, right? To
Yeah.
now turn that into real application,
Turn
right?
that into real application without writing code.
Without writing code, exactly. And before this, Figma also have been playing with Gen AI for
Hmm.
code generation,
So so
where you
so
can
that
just
has a
convert
lot
your
of,
stuff to scripts to just
yes, that
react
has a couple of
code or
limitations.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now with this no code tool, like it's just seamless, drag and drop, do whatever it will just look like as if you are still in your design process,
Exactly.
which is interesting to be honest.
And the part that I want to connect to is that a lot of companies right now have been kind of doing design first kind of systems where,
Mm-hmm.
like Airbnb now. Airbnb is a design first type of company where they just have product engineers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a
Yeah,
product
yeah.
engineer.
I
So
think even Intercom does that.
yes. So now you're saying that I Figma wants to take a part of this market that Figma is already taking, right? And if you go back to read the Dynaboard,
Mm-hmm.
interesting stuff. They said that we're forever grateful you made a bet with us, shared our dream of making web application easier to build. We hope you've enjoyed Dynaboard as much as we've enjoyed building it. This is kind of like the parting word from the CEO, who is Alex, and they are going to probably be joining. They are going to be probably be taking the Dynaboard team over to Figma, and they will join Figma to build or to transport a lot of the things they've built into Figma design system, and it's just going to be amazing. I think one thing I would like to say is that they are just making it they are making it easy for people to actually get ship faster and
Mm-hmm.
then build stuff that gets to the market really really fast. But it's so
Mm-hmm.
exciting to see how Figma broke out of the Adobe deal, and now they are kind of doing their own play in the market. They are making their own, they're spreading their own tentacles, and they are winning the market, or they are trying to go after developers. So that maybe this is the
Well,
right
not
time to
necessarily
plug in
even
that.
developers.
Maybe this is the right time to plug in this meme from Microsoft. Developers, 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 developers. So yeah, no, because no, if you think about it, Dynaboard
Mm-hmm.
is not just it's not just no code, it's low code,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay.
So you can turn your design into kind of like maybe component CSS, that it's just going to
Oh,
be easy for you to just integrate, even if you don't want to get
interesting.
stuck. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Now,
Yeah.
just maybe one one side joke. Can you use
Yeah.
Dynabot to build Dynabot? Or can you use Dynabot to build Figma?
Do you know I've always wondered how like the team behind different low code or no code tools. Because if you think about it, if they can build a lot of no code tools,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can also build it, because the same steps that goes into building a lot of local tools can also,
Mm-hmm.
you just need a lot of team effort. Like you've
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
engineers,
yeah.
you've got, because if you think about it, the software engineering principle that was used to build low code no code tool, right? If you learn
Mm-hmm.
that, you can also just use that to build your own application rather than getting stuck
Exactly,
inside of low code and low code too. But I
exactly.
understand that not a lot of people want to learn coding, and even I myself, I've used low code tools, no code tools to get my idea out there faster,
Yeah, you just
because it's
want
all
to
about
just test it.
monetization.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like would users like vibe with this idea before I actually spend tons of time writing code and probably nobody uses my product. That's time wasted. So like in building stuff like this, time matters, right?
Yeah, time
I just want
matters.
to quickly check it and see, okay, how are people reacting to this? Is this something people want? If it's something people want, right? Then we can just maybe start writing your code and do whatever you want to
Hmm.
do. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing having this conversation. But before we go, there's one there's one kind of something I want us to talk about, and the reason why I want us
Mm-hmm.
to talk about it is that I thought this would probably be the future of AI, right?
Mm.
But interestingly, we can kind of see that everyone has been sunsetting complex projects that they are working on, and they are moving focus to generative AI, which is
Exactly.
coming full circle. And the reason I'm bringing up this is that Apple was in the news this week or last this week that just ended, that they
Yeah.
are sunsetting the famous Apple Car project that got started in 2017. What are your thoughts?
That's very, 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 very interesting, right?
So
Because
I'll share a couple of highlights from the article here. Is that in 2017, CEO confirmed, of course, the global autonomy industry. So they are focused
mhm,
on the autonomous system, right? And that's he mentioned that it's the mother of all AI projects because it's probably one of the most difficult AI projects to actually work on. And so autonomy is something that's incredibly exciting for them, and they will be pursuing it. But now we're seeing Apple saying that no, we want to focus, we're moving all our team's effort to generative AI initiatives.
well, they don't want to be left behind, to be honest.
Exactly,
They don't want to be left
exactly,
behind. This is
exactly. So if
this
you
is
think about it as a business leader, like, oh, okay, is it better to
cut
pursue
your
a
losses
future,
now.
cut my losses now, right? And
Yeah,
that was the same
exactly.
thing that Mark did, Meta, right? So
Yeah.
that Metaverse was going in a different direction. Boom,
Mm-hmm.
put all efforts into even generative AI, put
Yeah.
all efforts into Meta, WhatsApp, a couple of these products, and Meta is doing great than they were doing when the metaverse
Yeah,
stuff
their
was going on.
stock,
Their stocks is
their
up.
stocks are yeah, their stocks are up now. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
interesting. It's
So
interesting because this Apple stuff, right? Maybe for some reason I never believed in Apple car. But seriously, seriously, because it takes a lot of work to actually even build like just a car in itself. It takes a
mm,
lot of work. And now you want to build an autonomous car.
mm,
Like there are people in the industry working on this for so long, right?
mm,
Tesla has been working on it. Tesla has been
mm,
improving on this stuff year in year out,
mm,
and like well, it takes some guts for Apple to even say yes. They want to actually go in that direction and stuff
mm,
like that. But I don't think I never, in my opinion, I never saw it coming. To be
mm,
honest, I wasn't a
mm,
believer of Apple car for whatsoever reason. Maybe
mm.
because maybe once it comes out, it's going to be super pricey.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing. Like if you go back to this article, right? This article mentioned that this article mentioned that we all know Apple not to make, and I'm trying to find it. It's saying that affordability is an increasing problem, and since
Exactly.
Apple isn't going to sell an entry level electric vehicle, that leaves them with an increasing tight premium market. You understand?
Exactly.
And this was said
Exactly.
by the person that I think the Bloomberg person that was quoted in this article, right? But
Is it
yeah, that was said that Apple would not want to make something cheap, right?
exactly?
Well, we've all seen Vision Pro. It's super expensive, $3,500. That's a premium
That's a
market.
lot. That's
Do
a
you understand what
lot.
I'm saying? So now
Let's not even go to the Vision Pro versus Meta Quest
no, we're not
3.
doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that during this call because we're not doing that during
Yeah.
this call. So, which I think we've to just sort of start rounding up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is takeaways that I think I want everybody to take away from this call is there's this question that we're seeking answers to. All right. And
Mm-hmm.
I want you guys to put in the comment section what your thoughts are. That should should AI initiatives or advancement be closed or open source? That's the
Mm-hmm.
$1 million question that we all have.
Exactly.
Yes. All right.
Exactly.
Should yeah. So because that if we can get answers to that, I think it becomes clearer what the intention of everyone is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is it for profit? Is it non-profit? Is it to inspire people? Is it to push innovation? So we're going to
Mm-hmm.
get answers to a lot of that. But it's been so wonderful, of course, chatting with my friend here, Richard. It's been
Yeah.
really, really wonderful having this conversation. And I would
Yeah.
like to ask him to also leave a $1 million question that we should go back and think about.
Yeah, I think it's actually nice even starting this conversation here. And I
Mm.
want everybody to also like just let us even hear your thoughts on various topics. Like we've talked about OpenAI, Microsoft, Mistral, Figure, uh Figma, Apple Car, right? Like we just want to hear what you think about most of these topics. And if there are other interesting topics you want us to even discuss later, we are open to even like talking about it. And maybe my $1 million question now that I would like to ask you guys would be like, what do you, in what role do you see AI playing in the future? Is it going to automatically take over our jobs, like people are saying, totally replace humans? Because to be honest, there are two sides of the coin. Where like some people are saying, yeah, AI is totally going to eradicate us. We are going to be like kind of human at the verge of going extinct because
Mm.
of AI systems, blah blah blah. And other people are like, chill. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think I want to hear what you guys think about that. And probably why you think so, right?
Mm.
Why do you think AI is not going to probably replace a lot of jobs, and why do you think AI is probably going to replace a lot of jobs and stuff like that? I just want to like get like understand the thought process. Want to see the thought process all around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And future videos you should look out from us. We're going to be talking about engineering problems. We're going to be
Mm-hmm.
maybe do a couple of tutorials, right? Everything tech. And I saw your face right there when I mentioned tutorial. You're like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. But
Yeah.
anyways, the reason why I'm saying this is that I want us to create something that would inspire and educate a lot of people,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because something that both of us we've benefited from is we've benefited from constant learning, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
more we can share what we know with people, the I think the faster we can help onboard people, a lot of people into tech, because people
Yeah.
see tech as this complex black box that they don't even know how to get into. When they see OpenAI, they're not even, they feel like it's something that's super niche. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing we all have to know is that the actions and inactions of these guys come to affect our daily lifestyle.
Exactly.
So the more we can
Exactly.
get to educate ourselves on this matter, the more you can, okay, there's ChatGPT out there. The more you can learn how to use ChatGPT, the faster you can build stuff. The better you can also perform at work. You can work at a 10x productivity, and you be that
Mm-hmm.
person that is always, oh, this guy is good at what he does, because you have
Yeah.
AI helping you drive innovation. So
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to this channel, look out for more from us, and hopefully we get to do a tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be
Well,
interesting though.
yeah.
It will be
Thank you,
interesting.
everyone.
Yeah.
See you guys on the next
See
one.
you.
Peace
Bye.
out. Wow.